So first of all, what is the root of the word tonic? It's tone. It's the tonicity. And what is tone? Well, tone, I'm a musician, right? So I think the tone of an instrument is it's tuned. How is it tuned? So it's a really good analogy for thinking of the tonal quality of a tissue. Is it down-tuned, right? Like on a stringed instrument? Is it loose? Is it flappy? Is it floppy? Has it lost its tone, right? That would be a relaxation tissue or laxity. Things have lost their tone, like I was just describing moments ago. Or is it hypertonic, right? Wound up too tight. That string winds, and then it pop, and the string wants to pop, right? That's what we call a tension tissue state. So you have this polarity in humoral understanding, or to more of an energetic understanding when we're looking at tissue tone. You have hypertonic and hypotonic. You have tension and relaxation. Now, the astringent class of remedy tends to increase the tone of the tissue, right? It tightens. It's going to take a tissue that should be nice and firm and tight and tonified, right? And that tissue has become lax. It's become loose. It's not. It's leaky, right? Like a drippy, runny nose, or postnasal drip, or diarrhea, or a varicose vein, or a hemorrhoid, or a prolapsed organ where the connective tissue is no longer holding it in its proper place. These are all expressions of a relaxed tissue state. And an astringent is typically the general property that we would want to utilize to address that underlying tissue state. So we would say it is tonic, right? It is increasing the tone of the tissue. So when we look at tissue tone, again, we have hypertonic, hypotonic, tension, relaxation. The astringents take the lax hypotonic tissue and increase its tone. It's like tightening that guitar string, right? That's what the astringents do. And so it's going to increase the tone of the tissue. And this is where we see the astringent expression of tonic. Now, I think this is oftentimes in some of the North American traditions of herbalism, you see the word tonic used a lot, right? They often, especially the physiomedicalists, they would kind of describe herbs in almost three fundamental ways. They would have the tonic, they would have the stimulant, and they would have relaxants. And these are all really in a way based off of what we might think of as the ECR cycle, which is a way of describing the neuromuscular junction where the nervous system kind of plugs into the musculoskeletal system. So nerve plugs in, I say plugs in, that's really a medical term right there. The nerve is connected to the muscle, innervates, okay, there's the more proper term. The nerve innervates a muscle fiber. Nerve is stimulated or excited, right? E. So the nerve is excited. The muscle then contracts, C. Okay, so tension, it increases tension. So you have excitation or stimulation. You have contraction or tonic, increasing the tone. And then you have R, relaxation of the muscle and relaxation of the nerve, and that's the relaxation. So excitation, constriction, relaxation, very similar concept. This is kind of like almost, this is herbal systems from like the 1800s, early 1900s. So we had more of a rudimentary understanding of the nervous system back then, but it is a valuable model. Stimulation, stimulants, relaxants, and tonics. So this is the way herbs would commonly be defined. Now, if you go into those texts and you're reading about those herbs and you think in your mind, tonic means maybe you're coming at it from a TCM perspective, or you're thinking in terms of Chinese tonic herbs, and then you read golden seal. Golden seal is tonic. It's like, what? Like, from a TCM perspective of tonic is like, from my understanding, now I'm not a TCM expert, but my understanding of TCM tonic herbs, I don't know if golden seal would really so much qualify. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone knows more about TCM and knows Western herbs, and maybe they think it would. But from my understanding, I don't really think golden seal would think of as a tonic. Also, if we think of it from, if you're approaching it, thinking of a tonic as something that just enhances overall vigor and well-being, golden seal? I don't know. But if we think of it as increasing tone, tonic increases tone, astringent, there we have it. The tonic astringent. So this is a very important way of thinking about tonic herbs. So especially if you're reading old Western herbals, keep that in mind, man. It really, like, this was a game changer for me. It really makes a lot of sense if you think of the tonic in that way. So examples of herbs that are astringent tonics. As I said, golden seal, Hydrastis canadensis, very good. A really archetypal in terms of our North American materia medica. Oak bark, Quercus, lots of oaks, but Quercus alba is kind of the official, but there's lots of oaks. They're all astringent, very good, strong astringent. I consider oak like the king of the astringents. It's very strong. Lady's mantle, Alchemilla vulgaris, very nice astringent, female reproductive system herb. Love lady's mantle. It's great. Rosa, of course, great tonic astringent, right? Rose water is a tonic. It's a skin tonic, right? Rose tonic. Witch hazel, of course, the witch hazel extract or liniment, very commonly used as a tonic astringent to tone the skin, right? Also used topically for varicose veins, hemorrhoids, classic tonic astringent. Willow bark, salix, quite astringent. Of course, many other properties, bitter, cooling, good bitter tonic. We'll broach that subject in a moment. Maybe that was a slip, or maybe it was a sneak peek. But willow is a very good example also of an astringent herb. So that is the astringent tonics, category 1 of our tonics.